How many people were praying last night, even if you don't pray? So the scales of justice have tipped us all a little closer to affordable health care for all today. So long ago, Abraham and Sarah stood at the opening of their tent. And it was in the heat of the day. And when they saw the strangers from afar, they reached out to them unconditionally, and they made sure that they had what they needed to stay alive. Here we are, my friends, in the heat of the day again. But today, grateful that our Supreme Court has held up the Affordable Care Act, that we may now continue to build a better and more just healthcare system for all Americans, and we will not leave the people of Missouri behind. So just look around today. We are a very diverse coalition, and there are many things that we may differ on, but we stand here today united by a moral mandate to make sure that not just some, but all have access to quality, affordable health care, and to save lives and make sure that there is a place in the tent, no matter how hot it is, there's a place in the tent for all of us. So we want to thank today all of you for coming, all of the coalition members. We want to honor Senator Maria Chappelle-Nadal, former State Representative Judith Baker, Representative Margot McNeil, and former Senator Joan Gray. We honor the people on the front line because we have to support you so your voices are loud enough to be heard even in Jefferson City. So, let's give a cheer now to small business owner Lou Prince of Vintage Vinyl, who's made a beautiful place for us today to gather because he knows that this is good for his employees, good for business, and good for the soul of our nation.
The Rabbi to the atheist. I want to welcome you all to your city. I want to welcome you all to Vintage Vinyl, and I want to welcome you all to the first day of healthcare justice in America. You know, a lot of candidates running for office talk about making America more competitive, and the single thing we can do to make American industry more competitive is national health care. Civilized countries have health care for all of them. This business, Vintage Vinyl, is a small business, but we supply health care for every single one of our employees. I've got to tell you that after 20 years of my accountant, my Republican accountant, always get a Republican accountant, going, this healthcare cost is driving you out of business. This healthcare cost is a waste of money. When the $11,000 tax credit from the Affordable Care Act showed up this year, he shut up for good. And said he was recommending it to several other small businesses. I will remind you, if you get hot, come inside. We're happy to have you. But get it, talk next.
So how many times did we try to get healthcare reform and not get it?
Many.
Now it's here. I was sweating it out this morning way more than I was here when for about 20 minutes I'm looking at the computer and people are saying, I think they struck it down, I think they struck it down. And then I got the opinion in my hand and I read it and I'm here to tell you, it really happened. It really happened. The constitutional thumbs up that we needed. So, no more exclusions for pre-existing conditions. Tell me we don't have a better workforce workforce, they can go out and know that they can get preventative care instead of waiting for something to scare them and head to the emergency room.
Right, absolutely.
Tell me that we don't have a better workforce when they know they can move from one employer to another employer to another employer without worrying about losing something for free.
Absolutely.
Aren't we in a better place when we're making sure that the insurers are putting the money into quality care and claims instead of into their own pockets, right? It's a great, great day, but there's more to be done, right? There's more to be done, because we're not all the way there. We've got to make sure that Missourians get the benefit of healthcare exchanges made by Missourians, right? We want the state to make these exchanges work for us. And now we learned today that we've also got to tell the Missouri legislature it's time to expand Medicare. We're not all the way there if only some of us are there. But it's real, it's here to stay, but we got to work on it, and we got to start working just like you've been working all these years locally, here in St. Louis, and we got to work in Jefferson City. Thanks so much for coming out in the heat. Let me introduce Judith Parker from the Missouri Alliance for Retired Americans.
Hi, I'm here speaking on behalf of the seniors and retirees in Missouri. We're advocates for such. We had 3. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're really close.
We had 3 really wonderful seniors who wanted to come and tell you their very compelling and real stories. Now, I'm a senior, but they're much more senior than I. And I just want you to know they want to thank you for being here. They are home where they belong today.
Yes.
And very quickly, I want to really drive home who we're talking about in Missouri when we talk about the glorious day that we just had today. So I'm going to paint a picture for you with numbers. In the state of Missouri, in 2010, I got it, 83,000 and over 200 people with Medicare received a $250 check because they have fallen in the donut hole. Since the law has been implemented, our seniors in Missouri have saved a total of, listen to this, $78,454,000 on their prescription drugs. In the first 5 months of this year, 13,876 seniors in Missouri received a 50% discount of their covered brand name drugs. This discount has resulted in an average saving of $598 per person and a total savings of $8,302,000. Right now, our seniors in Missouri and across this country can receive free preventative services such as mammograms, colonoscopies, and free annual wellness. This is important, oh Lord, this is important. We know that the sooner people are diagnosed, the quicker they are brought to health, and deaths are prevented. In 2011, we had 809 seniors in the state of Missouri who received these free services. And I've got more numbers I can just keep rolling out to you, but you already got the gist, and it's hot. But I do want to say that these numbers don't reflect the totality of the benefits that our seniors are getting. There are so many more that are unseen. There are so many other benefits that go along with what I now call the Obamacare's law. There is the medical home, there's the certification programs for workers in rehabilitation centers and nursing centers. There's so much more, and it's so very important, and I only have 2 things left to say. Yay. Yay. Here's the last thing. We have a tremendous victory today for seniors, for our children, for our grandchildren, and our parents, and for the citizens that we care about, and that's everybody out there. But there's one thing we have to keep in mind. Celebrate today, celebrate tonight, but tomorrow we got to wake up, because the fight begins anew to protect the benefits we have. Thank you all for being here.
All right, so I know it's hot not, I won't keep you all here long, but we have to talk about just how awesome today has been for women in the United States. All right, so I know birth control is healthcare. For me, access to birth control was the difference between treating my endometriosis and uterine fibroids or facing deteriorating health in a hysterectomy at 28 years old. 58% of women who use birth control use it for purposes other than pregnancy prevention. So birth control matters because birth control is health care. Under the Affordable Care Act, being a woman is no longer a pre-existing condition. Women have access to life-saving cancer screenings who didn't have access before.
Yeah.
And beginning August 1st, women will have access to birth control with no copay. So I could go on and on. This is an awesome day. But I just want to point out one last thing. This is not a political victory. This is a victory for women's health care and for health care in the United States of America. So thank you all. Let's celebrate.